Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 76 of the SWW Show. Yes, 76, not 60, whatever Mike thought it was.
Okay, listen, I was doing the mental math. To be fair, I woke up at like 3 a.m. So, like, mental math,
And
a little
I woke
off
up
today.
at 4:30 and was up the entire time.
Fair. I was a little off on the math, but hello, everyone. Welcome back to another glorious month. It is March of our year, Lord and Savior 2025. A beautiful time here. We'll get into this monthly news here in a minute. AJ, you know the news. We're gonna start with the big ones. I learned getting an engagement ring through TSA way easier than you thought it would be. Gonna be honest with you. I expected it to be way harder. I had a whole thing ready in case.
Difficult?
So here's why. So I thought it would be more difficult because I thought there's a high chance, because certain things they have trouble scanning through, that they would have to pull the box out, or like that was my concern. So I was like super ready to be like, if they were about to do that, I'd be like, you have to take me in the back. I was like so ready to.
Did you check a bag?
Yeah, but do you expect me to trust?
It's good enough that I would have just tossed it in there. Plus, if they lost it, you can go get a nicer one.
That's true. But again, I just would rather have it being there.
Yeah.
But yes, I proposed in Paris.
Yeah, I don't blame you for taking it in your carry-on. But in the same breath, I'm like, I've never had issues with luggage in terms of like it being gone for too long.
And I've never, like, there was only one time that I actually had it where, like, I thought my bag was lost and I was told it ended up being fine, but it was literally the last bag out. So, but like, I just didn't want this to be the time.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, like, I don't know what airlines you normally fly, but at least with Delta, their app, like, alerts you every time the bag gets scanned.
Mm-hmm.
So you at least have a last known location. It's always these people that get paranoid and put air tags on their shit, that their stuff is the one that goes missing. And I'm like, it's just a couple things. One, fly a different airline. Right? Like, that's probably part of it, right? If it quacks like a duck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you see these stories, it's usually the same airlines. I hate to say it. I'm not saying like Delta and American are perfect, but I've heard far fewer issues with them than even United.
And we were flying. It was Air France out and Delta back. So they're both Delta. It was Delta partner.
KLM.
So yeah. So which also, fun fact, our landing in Detroit was the first and second time I ever had sat through an aborted landing. It was.
Those are.
I think
weird.
it's out of. Especially the first one, so it was like a super windy day. Like, comically, like, you could see the plane going, like, I swear to God, like 10 degrees, like, on these shifts. And the first time we aborted, and it was like, what the hell's happening? The pilot immediately was like, hey, by the way, it's totally fine. Like, plane didn't clear runway. We'll be on the ground in 10 minutes. Like, you just tell this guy as calm as can be.
Yeah. So
we're about to go back down. Again, though, but this time he fucking floors it up. And we're like, the fuck happening? And it's, to clarify, the pilot says nothing now. For 30 minutes extra, we're in the air after there's a second landing. So you can imagine all this, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
We got down to the ground eventually, and that's when someone in front of me asked the pilot on the way out of the plane. He's like, hey, like, what the hell happened? And the pilot went, yeah, we had breakage failure. So he aborted the landing so our brakes didn't fail.
Yeah.
Which, like, I understand it's safe and all that stuff. It's way more reassuring hearing that after you get off the plane.
Oh, yeah. Like,
can you imagine a pilot midair being like, yeah, we'll do this a third time. I thought our brakes were going to fail. Like, that is not a reassuring thing to tell people. But
yeah, probably.
I lived Detroit Airport. I really only saw it for all of, like, 30 seconds post-customs. But it seemed like an alright airport.
It's always like the second ranked airport in the US.
It's like behind MSP, isn't it? Always.
It's usually MSP or Atlanta is in one, and then Detroit's usually second.
Yeah, no, I've always heard like and I know from like the Delta. It's funny 'cause it's all Delta hubs. The good airports.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like, it's so interesting how that is true though. Like, it's literally Delta hubs.
It's almost like an airline that figured this shit out after they went through bankruptcy issues has built a damn good model. And now, granted, like, the success of Delta can directly be associated with the '08 bankruptcy of Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And their like immediate acquisition of it. Like, from the sounds of it, I don't know how much of this is hyperbole, but it sounded like basically Delta was days from bankruptcy when Northwest went under. And they're like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Like, we're both going down. May as well go down as one.
No, and that's true. And like, it is interesting. It's kind of like how like, it's funny because like, we'll get to actual news here in a minute. But it's funny to me, I always think about like in the US we have these big three airlines now, right? You have American, Delta, and United are really the big three. And it's so funny that all three of them are like the airline in name only, and operationally are the airline they inherited somewhere between like 08 and 2012.
The crazy thing is though, like, I feel like of the big three, and this is, we'll wrap up airline discussion after this. I feel like United got the biggest shaft.
Did it though? Like, I felt like
did Continental screw them over that bad when they took them on? That like, because
but I thought Continental was a better route.
Right, like American and US seems to have worked out very well.
American's ironic because, like, I would argue, to me, American's my least favorite of the big three, but it has the best international network.
Yeah, like they figured it out. Whatever they did, they figured it out. Delta, like, nailed it. Right, that is your, that's your unicorn in the airline industry is Delta. And United's just like, we run Chicago, so therefore you have to fly us. Like,
mm-hmm.
And then it really does feel like when you fly into a United, if you fly United into United hub, it feels like those airports are like 15 years behind. Right? Like, now granted, I'm not saying Delta's hubs are perfect, right? Like, Atlanta's definitely got some areas that are showing their age. Same with Detroit, same with MSP, same with Salt Lake. Like, they've all got their points, but United just seems like they got, I don't know, that would be a very interesting deep dive into why has United seemingly had the hardest time.
Yeah, that's a good.
And is it just down to management, right? Like, that's a very possible answer. All that to say, yes, you got engaged in Paris.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you. And now the fun part of figuring out everything else with that. But yeah. that sounds like a future me problem.
Do you have any, as somebody who has a brother going through wedding planning right now, do you guys have any like preference of season?
We keep saying like next year during the warm time, which probably means like summer or fall, but like that's really the end of where we have so far.
Yeah.
Because we both agree, not winter, and then like we like the idea of like an outdoor location, but not outdoors.
Yeah. I was gonna say the only thing I would say is, especially by you, if you want a summer wedding, you're probably 2 years out.
Right, no, that's fair. Like, I'm fine with a fall one. It's just more of a like, we want it with like, also from a travel point of view, we don't want it to be like absurdly like -10 out.
Yeah.
So, but no, we will figure it out. But yeah, that was kind of the big news. Well, let's jump into the other big news. I'll start kind of with games played, really, because I was in Europe for a while. Which will kind of get some stories in a minute. But really, Persona was my biggest one because I slept on the planes. So kind of continuing down Persona 5 path of games. I played some random indie stuff the last few weeks also, but I'd say nothing kind of note here. But you here have, let's be honest, the most important pirate game to not come out of Ubisoft here.
I just gotta say though, Big ups on you for being able to sleep on a plane.
Drugs.
I have to be
drugs.
That, and I have to be exhausted to do it.
My trick is Xanax, and we might have cut it close on the flight out. I might have had a beer at the airport, like that Xanax, so it really helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And also like, it's funny coming from post Australia. This flight wasn't like half the length of my Australia flight, so that kind of made it a little easier too.
I guess once you've had a massive flight like that, and puts into perspective everything else, right? Like that's probably going to be your flight to Australia is probably the longest you'll ever be on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
So now everything else is just like, okay, yeah, I've already done that. So
we'll see. We'll see if I think the same thing, like flying to Japan and Vietnam next year. But we'll see. But that is at least my current opinion. It wasn't as bad because of that.
So we're both going to Japan next year, aren't we?
We are. I'm only in Japan for like 3 days, but like we're laying over in Japan, so we're like, screw it, we're gonna at least make Japan part of the trip.
Yeah.
So it's more a Vietnam trip, but I at least get to see Tokyo for like 2 days.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about as much time as I'm going to be in Tokyo, honestly.
Yeah. So like again, I like to say I'll get to see Tokyo, but it's not a Tokyo trip, so I keep telling people.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, speaking of Tokyo, you are playing here the Great Pirate game. Before we get into it though, I need to read a text. I got a text from Mr. AJ here yesterday at 6:54 a.m. So like 6 a.m. by you.
Yeah.
Quote, I have spent, no joke, the better part of 8+ hours with Majima's bare ass flying around my screen. First question for you. Do they not have pants in this new Yakuza Dream World? Jesus Christ, he just sent me some terrifying screenshots.
Yep. I made that choice too.
I want to focus. So this first screenshot that I'm looking at, okay? His character, your tattoos, obviously, right? I like how you have the Fox Max on, and then you have a very long front lining, but that's boring. That little boy is like staring directly at the ass.
The little boy's name is Noah.
Noah
has definitely seen Majima's dick.
Like, look at this. This is the most. But how is the pirate naked ass simulator?
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yes.
It's good. It's a kind of return to pre-7 combat style of just like a straight up beat 'em up, rather than the Dragon Quest turn-based stuff. The difference being you play as Goro Majima, who's generally seen as like he was one of the protagonists in Zero, and then he's just been kind of a pest in the rest of them for Kiryu. They give you full control. Like, first off, that first one that you see where he's in the fox mask, that's like a super serious cutscene. And he's wearing that. Which, to give people a idea of what it is, it's called like a... It starts with an F. I don't have a chance to look it up right now, but it's basically just a towel in the front and then basically a G-string in the back. So it's not too dissimilar to like what a sumo wrestler would wear, but then like a cloth in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in I believe they're just black shoes at that point. I switched them out to naval shoes, so they were nice and white. At some point, but fear not, he's wearing a bunch of clothes now. So they've got two different fighting styles that play pretty differently. They have a more traditional, like, it's called Mad Dog style. And for people with experience in the Yakuza series, this is like the Rush style from the combat style, where it's speed, right? It's speed and evasion is what it's built on. And then there's Sea Dog. So you have Mad Dog and Sea Dog. And Sea Dog is Majima as his pirate persona, which they give you control over both costumes. So at one point in time, I hadn't changed his pirate outfit, so he was wearing a fox mask. No, at that point he had a black wrestling mask. He was shirtless, and then he had his G-string on. And then his normal outfit was a swimsuit and an unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt. So at the end of combat, if I had finished combat in Sea Dog style, he'd put his swords away, and then he'd instantly put his clothes on. It would just pop on.
Yeah. So to clarify then, like when you go to cutscenes, you're saying it's all like in-game cutscenes, or is it times where it does the drawing, like it switches outfits?
The only time, so it depends on where the cutscenes are. So there's this, they brought back Honolulu from Like a Dragon 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, hey, we put all this work in, we're not just going to do this once and then move on to something else. So one map is Honolulu. It's the same map. It's got basically the same side, the main side stuff of like Crazy Delivery, Sicko Snap. I'm trying to get, there's, instead of, there's the Aloha Links stuff, the Aloha Happy Tours now. It's just the photo stuff. It's not the different jobs like it was in Infinite Wealth. So to put all this into perspective, right? Here is a Japanese man tatted incredibly well, and his tats go from his shoulders down to his mid-thighs. At one point in time, he was running around Honolulu with, George of the Jungle, Tarzan-esque garb on at his waist, and that's it. In tow, he's got a kid and what appears to be a small tiger. And he's running around waving at people, doing the shaka. And people are like, yeah, that guy's cool. I want to be friends with him on Aloha Links. But so to put this into perspective, we're recording this on a Monday. I got the game the previous Friday. I have put 15 hours into it over the course of 2.5 days. 3 days, combined 3 days. I just started chapter 3.
Wow.
Now, granted, I don't know how long this game is. Judging by the skills, I have about half skill acquisition. I think I'm just under half. And I believe all of the systems are open now. There might be one more that I'm missing. But like, I way over progressed in chapter 2 because like, you get a pirate level, right? It's a star system. It's just based on like stuff that you do in the game. And the goal is to be a 5-star pirate. I was a 5-star pirate like 2/3 of the way through chapter 2. Because I was just running around doing all the side stuff. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I have no idea. Right? Like, I now have a full pirate ship with... So I got the deluxe edition. Solely because it saved me $5 if I was going to upgrade later.
Also, so my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that so this isn't technically a full price game, right? It's a $60 game.
Well, it's still a full price Yakuza game. They've always been 60.
Okay, so Yakuza just never raised their prices.
I don't believe Infinite Wealth was $70 now.
Okay.
So in that deluxe edition, they give you like, oh, you can have Cosmic Kiryu, you can have Dojima, you can have, you know, like they brought back like Onamichio, they brought back some of these kind of legacy Yakuza characters that you could have as members on your pirate ship. And obviously, like, they're incredibly OP. If you ever played a Yakuza game where you had the legendary crew stuff, it breaks the game because they're just that good. I haven't used any of them solely out of like, I kind of want to see if I can do it before I end up using them. And I have like, I think it's 30. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. I probably have 40 or 50 crew members, if I had to guess.
Wow.
I have at least 40. And that's not including the DLC ones. And I'm going to end up using the DLC ones because I will have leveled everyone up to their max. Or like I will have run out of bronzes to level up to level 20. And then just be like, well, there's, you know, it's just wasted experience at that point. May as well put it on somebody. Sort of thing. And but fret not, the fan favorites are back. Gary Buster Holmes and his daughter Shitoze Buster Holmes are in the game. So I have them on my team. I have a man called Sheep Man. He wears a sheep mask. And he bleats like a sheep when he's fighting.
So I was trying to clarify. I heard a way different phrase. I was a little concerned here. So sheep, like, is he dressed like a sheep?
He's in a suit. He is a man in a business suit. And then he has a sheep's head on his head. Therefore, he is Sheep Man.
Therefore, he is Sheep Man.
Yes. I also have a whole lot of booba on my team. Including but not limited to no less than 3 very busty women in bikinis.
I hope you realize nothing here is shocking me.
No. And there's no less than 2 children on the boat as well.
Again, this is the thing that, like, should be but, like, in the era of pirates, let's be honest, most of these people are functionally kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, that part's not weird. The weird part is a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, I think he's 9, might even be 10, coming up and joining a 60-year-old Japanese man who's got amnesia and wants to be a pirate. And just says, yep, let's go. So, yeah, that's the backstory of the game. Goro Majima washes up on an island. He's got amnesia. This little kid, Noah, finds him. Noah's got a pet cat that he calls Goro that is definitely a tiger. But everyone just calls him a cat.
It's one of those classic, like, Everyone's like, oh, it's a big cat, big cat.
No, it's everyone on Noah's island and Noah's team calls it a cat. Everybody else goes, that kid's got a tiger. And they just call it out, and it's hilarious. But yeah, it's Yakuza ridiculousness. And now I can customize what I'm wearing. And I have just about everything. Money is not hard to come by in this game.
I feel like I remember you said the last time that too. I feel like isn't that the whole thing of these games? Like it's not that hard to find stuff to make money.
Oh no, this is like money becomes no object level of like they've always been. If you know what you're doing, you can just grind away and get a bunch of money. This is like, dude, they railroad you into having a 6-digit bank pretty quickly. And as long as you're not just like needlessly spending it on stuff, which the abilities require 2 different currencies. So at times you just can't spend money.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just go around buying stuff. And stuff isn't expensive enough outside of ship upgrades that money ever becomes an issue. I mean, at one point, I was playing and I got down to, I think it was like $500. And I'm like, I don't have to worry about it. I fast traveled to a bounty, claimed the bounty. It was like a $9,000 or an $8,000 bounty. And then suddenly I have $8,000. And then I ran 3 blocks and I claimed a $2,500 bounty. So like, I was back up to $11,000 in 5-10 minutes.
Oh wow! Like so, functionally
functionally, money is never an issue, especially with how quickly you can max out upgrades. Like I am at the point now where my health and my attack are both just, hey, you can just dump 10,000 points and $10,000 forever, right? Like I've maxed out the purchasable abilities for health and attack. And I just started chapter 3. Now, do I think it's going to be 14 chapters like Infinite Wealth was? No. I was trying to see if anyone had said anything about how long it is. And I hadn't seen anything off the rip. But I will say, like, Yakuza games are kind of, I don't know if their, like, trademark thing is this.
Is it like the zaniness or?
But no, like, random fights will pop up, and the names that they give people are the best part. Like,
really?
Oh, there were several fights in 6, I think it was, where it was perverts. 7 and 8 are hilarious because it's got the Dragon Quest turn-based stuff, and so everybody has a class, and there is just a pervert class. And it's just guys in tidy whities and baby oil and all that. And their weapons are sex toys. In Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, one of the groups is just assholes. So you'll be running along just trying to do stuff, and you'll get pulled into a fight, and it just says assholes. And you're like, yep, I totally agree.
Yep, big, yep.
But, yeah, it's great. It's yes.
Yes, perfect.
I mean,
That's
obviously,
yes.
I'll have more to say once
you should get further down.
Done. Judging by a few of the streamers that I've seen upload playthroughs of this, or stuff that I've been able to catch, there's probably in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 chapters. Let me pull up the reset era review. It got a 79 on Metacritic, 81 on OpenCritic, so pretty good reviews. All things considered, like, these games aren't going to be, they're never going to be 10 out of 10.
You know, but I don't think people are buying these games for it to be 10 out of 10.
Right.
Unless I'm crazy.
I mean, some people, like, don't get me wrong, there are some people that are absolutely, these are the greatest games ever. And those people are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've definitely this is, I just searched Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza length. AI overview. According to most estimates, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii takes around 15 to 20 hours to complete if you focus primarily on the side story, but can extend significantly if you choose to complete all side activities and explore the full extent of the game, potentially reaching up to 40 hours or more. I haven't started like 70% of the side stories, and I'm at 15 hours.
Yeah.
So, how long to beat? How long to beat says 19 hours for the main story, 30 for the main plus sides. They've got completionists at 41. So it might speed up, or you might just reach a point where it's like kind of pointless to do a bunch of stuff. So
I was like, a lot of those games, I feel like you get those weird, like, it's not worth the final.
Oh, okay. I just pulled up the IGN walkthrough, and there's only 4 chapters listed. So
you are further along, maybe, you think?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Jumping to some films we have seen, or TV and all that. I wanted to start first. So I saw a film that's an old one that I had never seen before. That is like absurdly high rated. Have you seen The Player?
Maybe.
He looks up The Player.
From 92?
92, the Tim Robbins film.
No, I haven't.
See, I had never heard of
heard of it, but I haven't seen
I
it.
had it, and then there was one of those I heard. I was like, "What the hell is this film?" So we watched it. So to clarify, people, it has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's interesting to me. Like, I enjoy the film, but it's interesting to me how this film was up for stuff like Best Picture. It's one of those films that like, I don't quite get the level of awards this film got. Because like, if you pull it up, it won a bunch of stuff. It was nominated a bunch of stuff. And so people don't know. The Player, it's a black comedy film starring basically, it's funny because it's a bunch of like Hollywood people kind of are throughout it. But functionally speaking, it's about Tim Robbins and basically accidentally like kills someone, and then it's kind of like the repercussions of trying to like hide that. And like, that's the whole thing of like, it's a black comedy, so like a bunch of dumb stuff happens, so to accidentally hide it and all that. It's a very interesting, and it's very much like oh yeah, we don't get satirical films like this anymore. But like, it doesn't hold up. And I wonder if part of that too is like, this type of film that like totally is held up by this guy's in the background, and like 30 years out, even though I know film, like, how many of these random actors do I probably know, or like, were big actors, I just don't know when I'm seeing it too, and I feel like it's like watching like an SNL skit like 30 years later where you're like, oh, this could be good at points, but who's that guy that I'm supposed to really know? That's what I would kind of call it.
Well, also, like, if you're wondering about how to get nominated, dude, it's a movie about Hollywood.
That's fair. It's very easy to see how it got nominated because literally like half of Hollywood, anyone who was big in 1992 or was big before then, who was alive and still active in Hollywood that you could think of, there's a high chance they're in this film.
Also, I just want to say, like, I'm sorry, but Criterion, y'all need to get off your shit about just putting shit in as soon as it's released. They've got a thing to pre-order Anora. Like, the thing about Criterion was it took forever to get into it.
That was the whole thing. Like, Criterion Collection was like a seal, almost like a seal of like quality.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into Oscars, but totally Anora from Winning Best Picture stuff is totally a thing that we're gonna try to end up seeing at some point, either this or next week.
What's it on?
I think we might just have to rent it.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a hunch it's not on any streamers yet, at least. Yeah, it looks like we rent it. Well, we'll see. Yeah. The Player, old film. The new film that I wanted to shout out that I did see also was I went to go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Is it as bad as I've heard?
I actually don't think it's as bad as you've heard. I'm not saying it's an amazing film, but what I would give this film is it's the first Marvel film besides Guardians, like, in a while that, like, has its own, like, style. Like, it's not generic, like, it's not Winter Soldier, but, like, at least visually, it's not generic just action film. Like, they actually try to do things with, like, the look of, like, the cinematography and stuff. It don't always pull it off, but, like, I appreciate how they definitely were going for a look and, like, try to do it versus, like, just be superhero, which is what I feel like a lot of the Marvel films have been doing.
Okay, so there's hope.
So, there's hope. Again, nothing perfect. I'm not even telling people they have to go check this thing out in theaters, but, like, I feel like Marvel, I think it's decent, and I do think, at least, like, if we're seeing this be hope in a film that, let's be honest, the thing got reshot how many times? Like, if at least you see a style still come through with that in mind, I'm hoping if they actually start planning out more films, which Disney is very clear, been like, yeah, we're trying to do less reshoots, then I'm hoping maybe we'll actually get back to, like, films having identities, which seemed to be a problem for a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, you could totally tell that Harrison Ford just took a paycheck.
Oh, dude, that's what his career is at this point.
To be fair, though, like I appreciate the interviews Harrison Ford was giving, where like people ask him, being like, "But like you're like to be find yourself as like a serious actor and all that." They go like, "What makes you turn off your brain?" He goes, "The money.
Yeah,
the money makes me turn off my brain." Like I appreciate the honesty of Harrison Ford at least. You know, like some of them are like, "Oh no, it's like," he's like, "Nah, fuck it, it's just." So, but yeah, it says here that you went back to Shorzy. That's the Canadian offshoot.
I didn't go back to it. The season 4 just came out.
Oh, okay.
So,
how is the hockey?
Well, this is the first season of the show that hasn't had any hockey in it.
Really?
Because it takes place in the off season.
Ah.
I mean, there's a little bit, but they don't play any. There's no games being played with the.
Does that change the show?
No.
Okay, that was more.
That's the great part about Shorzy, like the first 3 seasons, is the hockey stuff doesn't matter.
It's fair, but like it's at least like a good like pacing beat though. Like it kind of like sets it. I assumed a bit more like it's a grounder.
The only thing you need to know is that the captain of the Blueberry Bulldogs says he's never going to lose again. If they lose, they fold, and they go on to win it all.
That's all you need to know?
So, the hockey stuff doesn't... The actual game being played doesn't matter, right? Like, so, the scenes are just there. They're not... To call them filler isn't that great either. But they don't necessarily build on plot lines, other than signifying like, oh, this game happened. So
Yeah, that is a very fair. Yeah. I assume it's still good and all that.
oh yeah, I had a blast. It's as funny as ever. I will say, like, I have a few people at work that just do not get the humor style. And that's totally understandable. Right? Like, Shorzy and Letterkenny are built entirely on having grown up in a small farming town.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially a small farming town in, at the very least, north of the Mason-Dixon. Because there are towns like this. There's towns like this all over the Midwest where it's tiny, everyone knows everyone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like stuff like that. And Shorzy just builds on that. Like Sudbury, where it's set, like this is the first show that they've done with this crew where it's set in a real town. Even though Sudbury's where they shoot Letterkenny. Or where they shot Letterkenny, I should say.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So this is finally them like putting a name to the place.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can like, I'm sure there's a lot of people from Sudbury that are like stoked to see this. You know, from by all accounts, the behind the scenes stuff of Letterkenny was like, dude, the people of Sudbury took us in and we had a blast. And that's all you heard every time they rapped was like, we had a blast. This was so much fun. We love this town. So, and I think it's huge for specifically Canadian media to have something like this that has been such a success, right? Like building off of the success of Letterkenny and now having the success of Shorzy itself. That highlights some of these small towns. Because so much of the stuff produced in Canada now is shot in Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, or Montreal.
Mm-hmm. That's all like the big cities.
One of the 4 towns. And so to be from a small town and have your small town showcased is huge. And it's awesome that they're doing that. So, yeah.
Nice. Yes, jumping in, did I tell you? I'm thinking of any good Europe stories before we jump into news. Did I tell you the story of the Belgian protesters?
Yeah, we talked about that in the stream.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to think. But yeah, Europe, I'm trying to think. Paris. Here's my real advice to people. And on this Europe talk for 2 seconds. Go to Paris if you're anywhere from any place in America with a real winter. So like, not DC. We mean like real winters here. I would argue the best time it seems like to go to something like Paris, the winter. 30, 40 degrees, a little breeze, but totally fine. And there's like no lines because the Europeans think they're cold.
Hey man, I'm telling you, that jet stream has made those Europeans soft.
We got there like a few days and I was like, I understand now why like the pilgrims came to America and the first winter came and they all went, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine your entire life having like a 30-degree winter and then going to Boston in the winter?
Well, no, imagine, not even that, imagine this, right? Like, you rock up, you've just taken one of the most dangerous ship rides in the world.
Right. And at the time, human history.
Yeah, to get to where you're at. You've got, like, the clothes on your back, and that's it. And you rock up, and the people that greet you are wearing the hides of animals and then slowly those hides get more and more fur on them as it starts to get cold. Meanwhile, you've got like 4 layers of cloth, and that's it. Like, there should have been a ton of warning signs like, no, fuck off. Like, this is not for you. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing you always hear, right? Is like, Brits love to complain about how bad their winters are. But it's
and they also, it's like I can't take seriously the inverse, which is the European summers when they're all playing how hot it is.
Oh yeah,
it's like 75 and they're all like dying, and we're like,
admittedly, right? You have to remember, a lot of European construction, they don't have heating or AC.
But the other thing with the Europeans also that you can't discount, they don't drink water.
That too.
Like I read somewhere that like Europeans on average drink like half as much water as the average American.
Yeah.
Like well, walking on Paris, we were the only people with water bottles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not denying that. It's just for millennia the climate has not needed AC. Like, oh, it gets hot for like 2 weeks in the summer and then you're good. But now that the jet stream's getting a little funky.
That's true.
And suddenly it's 85 degrees. Now granted, 85 degrees in a brick building and it's humid as shit. Trust me, I know. I went to school in the Midwest.
I was like, trust me, I know. You saw my parents' house.
Yeah. Like, I get it, right? Like, I get them complaining. But also,
it just sounds so funny.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Like, it's 75. Walk outside, you'll be okay. I don't know, tell you, open a window.
Yeah. Yeah, the European continental climate is a lot cooler than people think.
Yeah, it's also like a lot more north than I think people process too.
Yeah.
When you like it's funny, like you go, like, oh, we're going to Paris, like not like the most south of Europe, but like kind of centrally from the north-south of Europe. I'm like,
yeah, it's like central France.
It's like north of Canada. It's like if you look at it, it's like mostly north of Canada.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's what, like Chicago is in line with Madrid or something like that.
Yeah, it's absurd. Like Florida Florida is literally like the north of Africa.
Yeah. Actually, it's yeah.
But like the point is like it's so wild. Like if you look at these things, you're like, yeah, I don't. It's hard to like unless you like look at a map or process like how North Europe is too.
Yeah. That's yeah.
But also, as we close up Europe talk, one thing I also want to say is to bullet trains or whatever their high speed rail there, really good. Except when another train comes past you and your entire train like shakes the whole time.
Yeah. Let's see what. Well, let me spell. That'd be great. First off.
No spelling.
So Eurostar is kind of the.
That's what I took.
Western Europe high-speed line.
I took Eurostar from Paris to Brussels.
Yeah, but on there, like, there's TGV or there's there's a bunch of different fleets. I mean, France is home of, especially in Europe, high-speed rail.
Mm-hmm.
Having invented the TGV. So, yeah.
Also, the other thing is you tell when you land in Paris airport that they're still really proud of Concorde even though it's gone.
Yeah.
Because there's like Concordes like everywhere.
Yeah. Well, Boom's bringing it back.
That's true. I'm actually kind of excited to see like if actually we get like jets like that back. Because
I mean, okay, if the Boom thing works and they somehow make supersonic travel cheap.
If they make supersonic travel cheap, but it also has like the safety record of normal travel, it actually becomes like a viable thing.
Well, honestly, it'd probably be safer.
That's fair, because like the dangerous part is the takeoff and landing. You're not going that speed at that point anyway.
Yeah, so... And if they're able to do boomless supersonic, you know, you could do...
Over the land?
Yeah, you could do Chicago to Paris and be supersonic.
Like
by
most of the way. That's like... I was like, yeah. That's me. The other one obviously is like if you ever do supersonic and we do it over Pacific. That's the dream.
Oh, dude, that plane would be so expensive.
Oh, you know it. But like, if you ever, because could you imagine making like an Australia flight now like 10 hours or like 8?
Well, I mean, okay, so if you flew, pull Wikipedia back up. If you flew in the Concorde, at its cruising speed, specifications. Its max speed was 1354. Its cruising speed was 1341. So that's 2100 kilometers an hour. Rough math. You know, I could probably figure it out right now, but there's two O's in Google. LA to Sydney is, you know, probably 10,000 kilometers.
Mm.
Well, let's do a random date. I just need the distance. I don't really care. So you turn. All right, here's a round trip. It's 15 and a half hours from LA to Sydney. It doesn't matter. I just want to look at the American site. So you're turning this into what is that? Passengers. LA to Sydney. I want to see the flight info. I don't give a shit about this. I'm not trying to actually book this. All right, if I give you a flight number, can you look it up?
Yeah.
AA 73. American 73.
Yeah, AA 73. That departed from LAX at 10:58 p.m. and arrived at Sydney at 8:17 a.m. a day and a half later.
Okay, it's a 7,500 mile.
That sounds right.
7,500 divided by 1340. That's a 6-hour flight.
Versus the 14 it was.
At 15 and a half, yeah. Like, but then again, you're flying 50 people probably to have enough fuel to be supersonic for 6 hours. I mean, by all accounts, even the SR-71 struggled to be in the air that long without refueling missions. So yeah, yeah.
That was airline talk.
Yeah, airline talk, part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
But jumping into the film, that's true. But talking into the film news, we're gonna start with the sad story and then bleed into. So that makes sense. Bleed into with it. I first wanted to shout out. We lost one of the greats this last month in Gene Hackman. Obviously, someone who we haven't seen in Hollywood in a while because he was 95, but is definitely defined in that later half of the 20th century as like one of the great actors. Like I think no one is doubting that Gene Hackman is one of the great actors of all time.
Also, this sounds like a really shady situation around his death.
Yeah. Also, yes, we are still waiting to get clarification, but people don't know. Him and his wife and their dog were all found dead. And he was 95, she was 65, and that is all we really know.
They'd been dead for a few days by all accounts.
Yep. But like as of now, the county is going no known thing of foul play or anything like that. So, and we don't think it's a suicide. So we will see if anything kind of comes out from this, but that is at least something to shout out. But yeah, we lost Gene Hackman, who was last night also was the Oscars, and Gene Hackman obviously was, I'd say, the front man for In Memoriam there. But jumping into the the Academy Awards, they're not the Oscars.
Yes, please.
We had a bunch of interesting winners last night, and I think some films did objectively better than we thought we would. Example obviously being, I think, Honora stealing the show last night and winning. And fun fact, I read Sean Baker, who was the director, editor, and writer of Honora, won 4 Oscars last night personally, because the 5th one would go to the whole team. He won 4 Oscars, which ties him in Walt Disney for the amount of Oscars one person won in one night.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Other obvious standouts, Adrian Brody finally won his second second Academy Award for The Brutalist. The thing though, I really wanted Timothée Chalamet to do it just because they obviously would have beat Adrian Brody's record of the youngest. Mikey Madison got her first ever Academy Award for being a Best Actress.
Is Honora the spiciest movie to win?
That is actually like Honora is like barely like a not R-rated film by all, like it's like a or not X-rated film by all accounts. Like
I would say it's definitely R-rated.
Yeah, but look at, it's one of those films that like I don't know. Like also like it's the first Best Picture like truly about like sex work and stuff, right? Like just topic wise.
There might be some stuff from like the 60s and 70s. Where it's like, oh, it's a lady of the night.
That's fair, but this one is like, it doesn't have the like 60s or 70s that like has the it's lady of the night or whatever. This was a very clear being like, my understanding is like this film's like doesn't hide from what it is.
Oh no, I saw a lot of clips of Mikey Madison and Honora on Twitter today with very little clothing.
Yeah, I've seen those clips. Yep, that's what I'm saying. This film does not hide what it is in the slightest. It looks like. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other standouts. A Real Pain, I got some love. The film, which is a film that I think was a very interesting one that came out last year. Emilia Perez for tying the record of nominations basically ever. Barely won, which is very interesting.
Zoe Saldana won.
And then Best Song, I think, with it too. So there was like a song one they won.
Maybe it's just listed
because like they were up there like singing at one point. I just remember what it was for.
Yeah, it doesn't say what project it's.
Best Original Song, Elmar. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like
just see. Yeah.
I know all the votes were cast before the
true blow-ups happened.
Discourse of how in the fuck does Emilia Perez have that many nominations really struck a chord with the public. Thank God the Academy was like, no, like fuck this.
Yeah, and like because like stuff like Best Original Song, I think Zoe Saldana winning actually is a bit on the absurd end, but at least like Best Original Song, I'm less offended by.
Well, so the thing that people forget around the Academy Awards is like once you dip below like Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress, Supporting, then it breaks off and it's the divisions of the Academy that vote on those awards. So a great example was editing for Honora. Only editors would have voted on that.
Which, fun fact also for Sean Baker, he is the first ever solo editor of a film that also won Best who's a director, who's also like a director. Because there's obviously infamously it's the James Cameron and like Weinstein kind of like co-edited Titanic. So, yeah. But otherwise, like Sean Baker was literally the only editor on the project.
Yeah, which
I think it's interesting that like you get this like, especially like Oscar level films, like you don't usually have this like one man kind of doing a lot of this type level of stuff.
Not anymore.
Yeah, like sure you use, but like because like I don't know of any other like major like films that would kind of think anything of that level in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing of it is, right? We've seen a lot of people go from one discipline, usually writing, into directing or editing, and succeed in there as well. We've seen very few at this level doing everything. Like, this is indie film level.
Yeah.
The budget needs to be like $6 and a pack of gum. And, you know, trying to keep costs down is why Sean Baker's in the position of doing literally everything. And then it works, and he is, you know, incredibly well respected and awarded as a result. The thing that I fear is somebody's going to throw a $250 million budget at him.
Yep.
Because of this.
And I completely agree with you. Also, the other thing as we get off Oscar or the Academy Award talk, I want to shout out Sean Baker for people who like didn't know him. The film of his that I think, if you want to check out less edgy work of his, that's an early work, is The Florida Project, is like an excellent film. And that was like, I think the first time I ever heard of him.
Yeah, Florida Project. I remember hearing about Snowbird, but I didn't end up seeing it.
I thought I remembered here too, but Florida Project, I definitely like heard about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That is the Oscars. Final film thing that we just had to at least mention. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the story apparently has been canned since then. There was officially Amazon has taken full control over of James Bond. Away from the Broccoli family. And it's full under Amazon at this point.
This now scares me.
So it scares me, but I heard an argument that at least is valid of, but like in the last few years, when it was under this weird joint ownership, or even before then, like they haven't done it. Like it's this really weird thing of like Amazon owning it is bad, but like, were they doing anything with it good? Like this film felt like it's in development. How they don't have a Bond yet somehow.
Which they had admitted after the release of No Time to Die, they were going to take some time before they looked at what's next.
But I feel like we're like a couple years out at this. Like we're 4 years past at this point. Like in my head, even at this point, you should be casting Bonds at a minimal.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if we would have heard something by now if these discussions hadn't been in place.
Yeah, that's
right. That's probably part of it. Is the Broccoli family were in these discussions with Amazon, and we're going, why are we going to do the work if they're going to take over? Kind of thing, like, because people forget, like, Eon, the group behind Bond, is literally 2 people. That's it. Like, it was Alfred Broccoli and his wife for a while, and now I believe it's his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
So, it's a very small team. So, you know, they're not the biggest, and so a decision like that takes the entire team of 2 or 3, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's not a big team, whatever it is. So, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'm scared, but also like this potentially gets us a new Bond in the next 2 or 3 years.
We'll see, like, because my big thing is like there are very few actors out there who like won't need to train to be Bond.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Like, I get it. Amazon running the show isn't great. But the stuff that they put out isn't horrendous.
Right. No.
There is an air of quality behind Amazon.
Amazon has a better quality bar than Netflix. I will agree with you.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Like Amazon, like Prime original stuff. So it's funny though. Do you know the only streamer that'd be out there that if they took this, we'd all be like, we know at least they would give it a real budget is Apple.
Like Apple if we said the words or Max, I mean.
Max is one of those where like I think they give certain things budget, but certain things don't, so it'll be a little more like, and we're like, well, but if Apple by accounts like, just throws money at shit.
Yeah. Bond, is getting money at Max.
That's fair. They would do anything to get that money.
Yeah. They're like, so, well, we got Big Bang Theory and Friends, so those pay a lot of the bills. Sure, have at it. Like, keep it under 300 million and we're good.
Yeah. Jumping down a bit. Trailers. I just wanted to shout out. We have our first Fantastic Four trailer. It's worth go checking out if you're interested. It'll be one I'll be very curious to see how this film does because it's going up basically against Superman at the exact same time. And let's be honest, people will see Superman more. So. Very intriguing there, and we shall see how that does. Jumping into video games, we have literally one non-depressing news item question. No, this is depressing. I lie. All the news, I'm sorry, for video games this month is depressing. We're just going to start with the big one. Niantic is rumored to be selling off their video game division, because Niantic kind of has like a tech division and a game division, to the Scope Link, which, as people might know, that is part of Saudi Arabia's. I think it's part of the
PIF.
Well, yeah, it's part of their wealth fund. So it's basically the video games in their wealth fund. So yeah, that's a thing, and it might be for like 3.5 billion is the rumor going around. Which I don't know if I processed that Niantic was worth, because this isn't even all of Niantic. That's what's wild to me. I didn't process Niantic was worth this much at all. I don't know if you have any thoughts besides the horror of Saudis buying them.
Well, here's my thought, right? Like, you say, how are they worth $3.5 billion? Does this include all of the geodata from Pokemon Go?
And that's what I'm wanting to, because it's only the games division, I'm actually super unsure on that.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be the thing, right?
And also, my other question is, if they're only selling the games division, does that mean, like, the new buyers have to license out the tech?
Yes.
Like that's like really my question there.
Yeah, they'll figure something out.
So we shall see.
You also have to remember, like, Niantic is at least partially involved in Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah, no, that's right. I didn't say about Google. I was like, because they were a spinoff of Google.
Yeah.
Which they have to be like the most successful spinoff of Google maybe out there from like an ROI point of view.
Oh, ROI, definitely.
Like no, they're starting up some spinoff of Google that are worth more money, obviously, like the self-driving car and all that. Like, but like from an ROI point of view, based on what my understanding of Google's initial investment, this had to be a very good investment.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I highly doubt that, Pikmin Bloom or Peridot or Monster Hunter Now.
But again, though, you made a good point, though. If it has the data, that actually might be worth more than it looks like on face. They only have 100,000 extra players, whatever the hell they have.
Well, what if they have the historical data from the 100 million players
of Pokemon
Go? Suddenly, it seems like a pretty cheap deal.
That's fair. That is a thing I definitely did not account for. So, we shall see. I'm sorry, from here on out, it is solely... that was the least depressing of the depressing news.
I was saying, we now got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories, and they're all about layoffs.
So, we're going to start. Football Manager 25 is officially canceled. This is the only one that we did not see immediate layoffs tied to. So we'll see. That one, them canceling outright shocked me though, considering I should be one of those that like I figured would be mostly done. So the pre-orders must have been like real soft or something.
Yeah, I don't know what would have caused a complete shutdown.
Right. Like if you want to say it came out and it did bad, so we laid off studios, like I get that a lot more than just canceling it.
Yeah.
So hopefully the team there ends up okay. Here's the big one of the month. Warner Brothers shut down Monolith, Player First, and WB San Diego. Obviously Monolith most famously in modern times for those Shadow War? Is that what we call it? Those? Yeah. Games, so the Lord of the Rings games with the Nemesis system. They were working on a Wonder Woman game. Player First Games, who don't know, was the team that did Multiverses. And then WB San Diego had it listed. Some other like support and mobile stuff, I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, that's the biggest one. And I would say of the month, that is the biggest and most insane of the. I think Monolith going down.
Yeah,
is one that's the
going
most
down
insane.
is huge.
Like a Monolith, I assumed because of how Warner was functioning that Wonder Woman game was decently safe. Like they might do live service with Monolith. Like I didn't expect a cancellation of that game to be on the table.
No.
Like think of how much money they already sunk into it.
Yeah, that's probably what, a $10 to $15 million loss.
I think we're talking a lot more, is my guess. Because it's been in development for years.
Well, but at what level of development?
But they haven't released a game since 2017.
Yeah, I highly doubt they've been working on it for almost 10 years, but...
You know, I don't think it's been like the only thing's my guess, but like, it's still, they definitely put in money.
Oh, yeah.
So, we shall see. Hopefully all these people land on their feet. But continuing down the sad news, this is one that I think surprised me a bit. Surgeon Studios developer Bossa Games also had layoffs. So that was one, obviously, that I think...
Dude, like...
I don't know if...
I hate to say it, but I didn't realize Surgeon Simulator was successful enough to have a 60, 70 person team.
That's fair. It is interesting how big that team actually was. Yeah, because Surgeon Simulator is definitely the biggest thing I'm looking at right now. Yeah, that is. They also did I Am Bread, which is obviously another. I think that's probably where people first knew. Like Surgeon Simulator early on, but like those two kind of came out, and they kind of people could have known for either. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I didn't know, about it. I know like Surgeon Simulator 2 came out like 2020.
I knew about that, but yeah.
But yeah, definitely. That's a sad team. This one hit home to me because a lot of I knew some people at this one because I double pasted on accident. There were some people on this team that actually were Columbia grads. But yeah, so this one, sad news. Netflix has laid off the entire Oxenfree team. Up here, know that is Night School Studio. So that is another one that's just gone. On top of that, Crytek is laying off 15% of their workforce, and Crysis 4 has been put on hiatus, in quotes. So they have not officially canceled Crysis 4. Not sure why you're making a Crysis 4, but that's besides the point.
I was gonna say, like, when they said, "Oh man, we're pausing production on Crysis 4," I'm like, "You were in production on Crysis 4?" Like,
apparently they announced it a few years ago.
I remember hearing them say, like, "Oh, we've got the next thing in Crysis," and I'm like, "Okay." But then, I mean, pretty quickly after that, Hunt Showdown just took off.
Mm-hmm.
And it really felt like Hunt Showdown was going to be
It's like their savior.
Yeah. It was just one of those where I was just like, okay, this game took over. It had a quick fire. And then I feel like the hype died off, but also Hunt Showdown definitely feels like one of those games where it builds an audience, and that audience is ride or die.
I completely agree.
So
yeah. Next we have, people don't know, Probably Monsters announced layoffs. So Probably Monsters, people know, that was kind of the teams that were formed by the ex-CEO of Bungie. We shall kind of see what happens there. This is the I call this the industry breaking the glass moment. Iron Galaxy laid off people. And the reason this is Iron Galaxy is a studio that was very notorious for like paying less to employees for economic stability. Like it was very much like Iron Galaxy did not do layoffs. Like it was kind of very known. So Iron Galaxy though laid off 66 people, which I think also says a bigger story, because obviously Iron Galaxy's bread and butter is code development. That I think that tells a broader story of like those developers being hit in that way. That I think we probably don't see the same way when we talk about like games being canceled and all that stuff. So we shall see. Like,
this is definitely related to, or kind of lack of a better term, money's not cheap anymore.
Yep.
And these are studios like Iron Galaxy is definitely a studio that I feel like would have taken on some business debt in order to save these 66 devs.
Yeah, no, but like it's probably one of those where they'll probably look at the books being like, if we take it today, we're just screwing more people tomorrow.
But yeah, when those loans are 2%, it's feasible.
It's one discussion.
7%, it's like, no, there's no way we can do this.
Yeah, no, that is. I think that I do think that's part of the story. I think the story is that. I think the story is these forever games are existing. You have like there's a lot of kind of parallels happening here, but I just want to point out remember back in like October or September when I asked you if this would be these layoffs would calm down. I think this month proved that's not happening.
Oh, I never said they were calming down. That's one thing I remember. I was like,
you're like, yeah, I don't think so.
I was like, there's no way. Like,
so two more teams. Phoenix Labs is shutting Dauntless. They're obviously Dauntless is one of those good old live service games, and laid off a bulk majority of their staff. And then finally, Unity, with its continuing to struggle, laid off developers, but I need to call out the way Unity did this one. Literally, the way developers were laid off was they got a 5 a.m. email for a bunch of employees that just said you were laid off. Like, Unity, you've gone through enough layoffs at this point. I expect you to have a better system in place. I don't know what to tell you. But like always, we hope the industry calms developers, but...
I love the first sentence of this story. Unity has spent $205 million laying off 25% of its workforce. I'm sorry, what?
Because you gotta come for like there is stuff like if they offered like packages there's a bunch of things. It's just funny,
like that, but
yeah. It's one of those you look at those numbers, you're like, how did it cost money exactly? Yeah. We are
a 5
hoping...
a.m. email from no reply at Unity informing me that my role was being eliminated and that I'd lose system access by the end of the day. Felt completely abrupt. Yeah.
Yeah. like first off, the no reply at unity.com is what kills me of that email address. Not even like random low-level HR. No reply at Unity.
Well, I wonder, is the reason they do no reply, does Unity have their email service set up so that only certain people could do company-wide emails? Right, so, or, like certain people couldn't email certain people.
Yeah, a lot of companies have like restrictions and stuff.
Is this part of that?
It'd be interesting, but like that seems like every other company figured this out. Why couldn't you, Unity?
Yeah.
Like that may be true, but like that's a solvable problem that should be solved by your 8th round of layoffs in 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Where do you think John Riccitiello is right now?
Hopefully burning somewhere. I don't know.
I just say that because I love listening to Nextlander, and every now and then Alex Navarro is Facebook friends with John Riccitiello for some reason. And even he doesn't know why. And he would just occasionally provide updates of what John Riccitiello was doing.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope the industry improves. We hope it gets better. But holy shit, this month, games coming out so soon. That we wanted to shout out. Split Fiction comes out on March 6th. So when you're hearing this, AC Shadows finally comes out on March 20th. Atomfall, March 27th. Void Souls comes out on May 1st. Doom, The Dark Ages comes out May 15th. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater comes out August 28th. And finally, Borderlands 4 comes out September 23rd. You can tell which one I'm most excited for. I'm assuming it's still Doom of your games coming up that we know of dates this year.
No, it's probably Snake Eater.
Oh, wow.
I haven't played Eternal, so I don't.
Eternal, I think Eternal just gets too hard at points. Like, it's funny to hear a new game, but like it's like one of those that gets annoyingly hard.
Yeah, I've got it downloaded. It's just one of those games where I'm like, eh.
And then finally, we both know probably the correct answer here, but there's 2 films coming out in March that I think would be worthy of Movie Club, and that is either Mickey 17 or Novocaine. It's Mickey 17, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not having this discussion. The answer is go see Mickey 17. Go check out that film that looks honestly very fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. That is all we got for you this month. The weather is warming up. Go see the outsides, and maybe, just maybe, put on some pants.
I got pants on right now.
That's true. He has pants on, a little bit of bubbly, and I feel like when we get off this, he's gonna make dinner and go back to. So, like, where is the pirate game technically? Do they have a location like where this game is taking place, or is it just like not the Caribbean? Okay, is it? I didn't realize it still was. With the being pirates and stuff.
Jesus Christ! We need you to look at a map there, bud. Infinite.
Do you remember
Hawaii?
Do you remember the infamous of where with the whole Florida map the one time?
The whole Florida map.
Remember, I think it was like in 2020. I was like, I thought Tampa was like the East Coast or something.
Oh yeah, dude, there were some. God, you want to go into a time capsule and realize just how dumb people were during COVID. Go listen to our 2020 episodes, and Mike's like lost his goddamn mind.
But on that note, we'll see all of you guys soon.
See you.